Hey guys, and here we are back at Super Lab Battle USA Circuit to the America. We're about to go hot with Group 3, Session 2. Guys are already starting to line up in the hot pits. We'll be going live in about 2 minutes. Everything on the track looks like it's getting cleared out. We have everything going well. To recap, if you haven't been on with us today, we've seen some blistering lap times. So it is a point of contention. You know, there has been a quote-unquote lap time record set by a production vehicle. It's an electric vehicle that I've never heard of. But he had done a 2:11 here, and Cole had actually reset that yesterday. But now Cole has done a 2:07. He's not only reset the production car lap time, he's gone faster than a Janetta LMP3 car. So needless to say, the cars around here are flying. James Hooten has done a 2:12 on his second lap. He went a little bit faster than his first lap, and I see his team crunching away in the pits right now, trying to make sure that they get it going out there for another lap. As you can see, the scenery here is beautiful at Circuits of the Americas. These guys are starting to go out on their warm-up laps, but we are blessed to be here today. It's been a beautiful day. The track is very clean. We've had 0 incidents. We haven't had anything push us back. There's the drift paddock right there. In the very front of this pack, we have Ryan Schmitz in his Chevy Camaro, SPL Parts Inc. Chevy Camaro. Thomas Lee right there in his 8th gen Honda Civic. That's NA Performance Temple City Auto Repair, sponsored vehicle. Zachary Sober right there in Sober Racing, Subaru WRX STI. That is his enthusiast class WRX. He drove here from Houston. He's been laying down some good lap times. For those of you that don't know, we do run a 4-class setup. So we have Enthusiast, Street, Limited, and Unlimited. The Enthusiast class cars are basically a street-driven street vehicle. They are cars that get driven every day or are capable of being driven every day. Corey Daly's that jar. Sorry, Zachary Sober Daly's that vehicle. Drove it here. He's putting down some real significant lap times, and he'll be driving it home to Houston. The street class is one step up. These are street registered vehicles, but they're built a lot more extreme. They don't need every interior piece like the enthusiast class cars. Everything in front of the B pillar needs to be there. Carpet, seats, dash, heater core, all that needs to be there, but everything behind can be stripped and gutted. Roll cages are permitted in technically all classes. In enthusiasts, you can only get rid of whatever is required to make the cage fit. Same in street. If you have to trim the door panel to make it fit, you can't remove it completely, but you can trim it. You get into limited class where things like dashes are no longer a requirement. You no longer need carpet or any of those components. The aero rules on these are limited cars have much higher aero rule set, where street class you can only have such a big splitter, the wing cannot go over the roof line, it can only hang back 5 inches off the bumper. Limited gives you a lot more. Then after limited, you're going to have the unlimited class, and that is exactly what it sounds like. Minus the CCRs and just safety rules of the vehicle, they get to build those cars as extreme as they want. That's why in unlimited you see so many different styles of builds. You got guys with huge wings and huge splitters. You got guys with splitters that seem like it could be in a lower class but work very well with their package. Then you talk about tread wear and tires. These classes have always been a tire class rating. So Enthusiast has to be in a 220 plus tread wear tire. Street needs to be on a 200 tread wear tire. Then you get into limited R compound tires, and in unlimited you can run any slick. Now, because you're in a higher class, say you're in limited, that doesn't mean you can't run a street tire. You have Ryan Passy on a BFG Rival. That is technically a street class tire. We've seen a lot of other guys run the RE71R in limited class because they feel it's just a faster tire. Here we have guys coming around for their warm-up laps, trying to make sure they can set their hot laps. that Toyota Corolla AE86 Voodoo Racing being driven by Joshua Garcia, F20C powered. Oh, there we have, sir. He's been getting sideways on that corner, putting a lot of torque down right there. Looks like we have Mr. Nick Bright letting a vehicle by, being started up here by Kyle Powderford in his Nissan GTR R34 Brand X Racing. Looks like we have a nice little battle for position here. I'm not sure if he got out on the grid a little late, because usually we have these cars set up by speed, but there's a good chance if you make it late on the pit that you're not going to be let out in time to be in your proper position. So he made sure to let him by. It was obvious he was on a lot quicker pace there during that lap, so no reason for Kyle to hold him up. He let him by in a pretty clean position. This is Group 3, Session 2. The first session saw a significant drop in lap times by almost every competitor. What's crazy is it's actually not even that warm here today. There is a little bit of a cross breeze. It's 58 degrees outside, but the sun is out. So unlike yesterday when it was 55 degrees and everyone was freezing, people are out here. Not everyone's wearing jackets anymore. A little bit of a breeze is killing you, but honestly, these cars are super happy. I think at about 5 more degrees that the track would be in an optimal place, but they are a lot more happier than what was going on yesterday. These cars were kind of sliding around yesterday, driving on ice with such cold track temperatures. The tires just could not get the grip. They could not get up to temperature how they needed. Crazy part is, though, they were all setting up for yesterday. These cars spent the entire day setting up for that one fast lap, and they show up today, and the track is just warmer and way faster. They had to go backwards on what they did yesterday. That right there is racing in a nutshell. You test on one day, you race the next, and it could be just 2 completely days, especially here in Texas. The weather forecast here over the last 2 weeks has been a roller coaster ride. 2 weeks ago, we checked the weather, it was supposed to rain. A week ago, we checked the weather, it was supposed to be 80. We land here on Friday, and it is 95 degrees. And we show up here yesterday, and at 8 o'clock when the track started going hot, it was still in the 40s. That's Mr. Zachary Sober right there. He had just laid down a lap time of 2:42.300. He's shown that even these enthusiast class street cars can really lay down good laps. The enthusiast class is a great place to step your toes in after you've reached your SCCA Pro Time Trial license. You can pick one of those up at any SCCA chapter. You just have to go run some time trials, make sure that you're not only safe on track, but you're able to go fast and pay attention to what's going on around you. There are a lot of drivers out there that have the ability and skill to go fast, but the thing is, here you're going to be having a lot of cars coming up on you, and you're going to be coming up on cars going slow during their cooldown laps. So you have to make sure that your decision making is on par. That SPL Parts Camaro, I believe, is leading this session. Yes, he definitely is. He's done a 2:32.925. Here we have it, Mr. Shawn Farah. He's just another one of these vehicles. He has it down very well. He does lose the ass on this vehicle a little bit around tighter corners. He's trying to put that torque and horsepower down a little hard, but he's been going out there and improving his lap time every single session, especially with the weather going well right now. He is pulling off to the side, making sure another competitor can finish their lap. I believe that is Miss Fiona Liu in her Honda S2000. She's done a 2:39.685 in this session. There is one thing going on with Miss Fiona Liu's car, and that's the livery on the side. I don't care how old or young you are, you can't miss what this is. She has a huge Pikachu on the side of her car, and I'm going to say that definitely matches her personality. Very electric. So it does look like she's milking those corners really well. Fiona's been improving her lap time from yesterday to today. She's done a 2:39.685 this session, but with how the weather's doing and all the seat time she's getting in this car, I did speak of this yesterday, but Fiona usually races an E46 M3. She had that car ready to go, full Pikachu livery and everything, but I feel like they ran into some problems, so she finally decided to get into the S2000, bring it out here just with her and Jackie Ding, the dual S2000s. I'm sure if you've been watching, you can tell this stream has quite a few S2000s, and it's mainly because this is a great car to time attack. It's a great track day car. It's a really fun street car, but this is one of those cars where the potential is not just in power. You can do a lot of suspension mods on this car, run it basically stock power with bolt-ons, and get some very good times. Jackie Ding proved that last season by going to every event he can with a car that just had bolt-ons and a tune and winning quite a few events. This is something I'm sure Circuits of the America wasn't expecting when they built this track. This track was built for the premier Formula One racing, and it has since opened up to GT3 racing, Superbike racing, and private club events, and now Super Lap Battle USA. But I'm pretty sure the VP of Operations never thought he'd see a Pikachu going around his track like this. There's Mr. Thomas Lee. He's in the silver car with the silver wheels. Some people would say it's a very vanilla look. I think it's clean, but to be honest with you, his times speak for themselves. Thomas has been doing a 2:38. So yesterday was in the 2:40s when it was cold. He's been picking up 2 seconds. He's done a 2:38.808 this session. He said it himself. He said there's plenty of time in the car. It's just the track warms up a little bit. It'll be easier for him to find it. Mr. Kyle Paddleford right there with a 2:42.717. He's been battling a few things, but he said it himself. The car is built well. It just comes down to him handling it. He's been trying to get as much experience in this car as possible. We've seen him run a multitude of events last year. There is a pretty famous video of him online of him jumping this car down a road that has a hump on it. It looks pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. Seeing a GTR fly, that's 4,000 pounds of fury in the air right there. Everyone knows this car is Godzilla. This car has been around for quite some time. The Japanese tuner scene has been working on Skyline since the initial R32. There obviously are models before it. We can go deep into the history, but the R32 was the one that brought the car to the masses. Then we came to the R33, R34. Now, this is a car we don't usually see in the United States. Now, it is in North America. You will find this car in Canada everywhere, but just here in the United States, with all the safety laws required to get a vehicle here, Nissan decided it was not worth it to retrofit this vehicle to come to the U.S. Can't say I blame them. I wouldn't want to mess with perfection either. But luckily for us, Mr. Kyle Paddleford is a dual citizen. He is both Canadian and American. So he definitely brings this car down. I've seen this car probably for a year and a half now, and there isn't a single time when he unloads it from the trailer that it isn't surrounded by fans. There's nothing crazy about it. He has a beautiful aftermarket front bumper with some aero, beautiful chassis mounted wing. Usually a very beautiful rear bumper. The car is clean. It is show quality if you really want to go there. You could take this to a car show, but luckily he uses it for what it's meant to be used for. Another car that is a car you don't see here in the U.S. very often, that is the Honda Accord Euro R being driven by Mr. Nick Bright. I believe that car came in from Canada also. He lives here in Texas, and that is definitely a car that he not only takes to every event he can, it's a car that he dailies for the most part. We've been lucky enough over the years to see a lot of Japanese and Canadian versions of cars we know. A few seasons ago, we were dealing with an Acura CSX Type S, another car that we don't get here in the U.S. Nick Bright's car is just one of those vehicles that is very clean, very smooth. He's gone through a lot of renditions of this vehicle. Sometimes you catch him with a GT wing, other times you catch him with that stock Euro R wing. I don't know which trim he's running here today, but I'm pretty sure it's an enthusiast trim, which would explain how the car looks as we speak right now. Same thing, we have a trend of American cars coming to Time Attack events. 2, 3, 4 years ago, you'd have been amiss to find a Camaro, to find a Mustang, to find a Corvette at one of these events. It just wasn't common. Maybe one guy would show up because his import was broken, so he'd bring his daily. But Time Attack was a predominantly import thing. It was brought here from Japan many a year ago. I want to say 05, 06 is when the first Time Attack events started being rolled in North America. Now, here's the biggest thing. There has always been time trials, and I hear that all the time. There's always someone on the internet yelling at me saying, well, we've been running time trials since '94. Well, time trials and Time Attack are not the same thing, guys. Time Attack cars are meant to run one perfect lap. If all they do is one lap in that entire event, they have succeeded. Time trial cars, they run multitudes of laps over multitudes of sessions. They are built to a different standard. They're built to a higher running standard, but a lower performance standard, where here in Time Attack, we're talking street class cars can make 800 horsepower. They just got to find a way to put it down. In a street class car in time trials, there's no way you could run that. You'd be in a TTU car and you'd be at the highest class on street tires. It would be completely useless. So what we have going on right now is Mr. Shawn Farah is leading this group with a 2:32.925. The times have been dropping. Miss Fiona Liu's run a 2:39.685 is her best lap. Mr. Kyle Paddleford has dropped about 2 seconds from his first lap. Matt Perkins in street with a 2:48.809. Zachary Sober in that enthusiast class Subaru WRX STI, that beautiful orange machine, with a 2:41.841. Shawn Farah and Ryan Schmisk in that Camaro with a 2:34.115. As you can see, the sun is out. We have a little bit of cloud cover, but it's just patchy clouds. It's been a beautiful day here. That tower is just a beautiful sight in the background. Mr. Paddleford right here trying to lay another lap down. Let's see what he does. He did a little bit slower than his fast. He did 2:42.748, where his fast is a 2:42.380. So he's driving very consistently. It looks like this session was checkered, so Mr. Paddleford has finished his final flyer. He's just bringing it around. Here we have it, guys. These are the Group 2 Session 2 cars coming out. Group 2 Session 2 cars coming out. They're pre-gridding right now. Now, this is a group of contention right here, my friends. There have been a lot of times dropping since the first session. From yesterday, we saw Mr. Ray Williams drop almost 6 seconds, where he dropped 8 seconds during the day yesterday. I was talking to him in the pits in between these broadcasts, and he told me that it's a completely different car. They've changed a couple things, and just with the way the track is, it's really come into its own. So we do expect Mr. Ray there to lay down some faster lap times. How this facility is and what it's like being in the actual tower. Now you see that we have 5, 6, 7 cameras on our feed, but there are things that happen here that no one else sees. Formula One races, Blanc Pond races, Superbike races, and how do they take care of all that? How do they see everything going down? This is a world-class facility, and because of that, they have the ability to not only watch what's going on, but to rewind and review and rewind and review. So let's come check out the race control. It's gonna blow your mind. These guys out here, these are the guys making sure race control is done properly. If there's an incident on track, if we need a safety vehicle, if we need something picked up, these are the guys working their butts off to make sure. But you're wondering, are they staring at their monitors? Are they staring at 1 or 2 screens? Come in, I'll show you. This bank of TVs is something like out of a movie, guys. They can see every corner, every section. They can see 5 or 6 shots of every single thing going on. So yesterday when we had a red flag to make sure that we could clean the track for that 1 hour, it's because they saw something happen. They saw how deep and involved it was. Yesterday, we also saw a safety car just pick up 1 piece of debris. Now, on our feed, we would have never seen that piece of debris, but these fine men and women in here are making sure that nothing on track is going to cause damage to these vehicles or cause damage to their facility, really. I mean, let's not lie here. They want to make sure everything stays clean here. So you got 3, 4 people in here watching this entire bank of TVs. I'm sure during a Formula One weekend, you'll see this whole place completely filled, but it's going to be much more wild. You have this gentleman talking to the safety workers on track. You have this lady right here also talking to safety workers. They're having a small safety meeting, and then our own staff in here making sure everything is going well. So if you're ever wondering about how high class this facility is, this room alone should show you. There's places in here I can't show you, but at least this tells you how much time and money they put into this. We're going to get back to racing action right now, guys. We'll get back in the main room, and thanks for checking this out. All right, guys, we're going to get back to racing here at Super Lap Battle USA. This is going to be Group 2, Session 2. Group 2, Session 2. Here we go, guys. We're going live. Group 2, Session 2. Mr. Earl Zimmerman being followed by Mr. Ulrich Zerka. Then we have Will Dries in the WRD Racing Honda Prelude. There's Jesse Solinsky in his Honda S2000 TJS Racing. Behind him is Mr. Jason Owens in the United Speed Racing Honda Civic Type R. Mr. Tony D in the Porsche 911S. There's Mr. Ray Williams himself in the Bobby Lane Racing Project Import Honda Accord, followed by Ravi in his Honda NSX We Don't Lift Racing. Jackie Ding behind him in his PhD Racing Honda S2000, followed by Drew Turner in his Def Motion Binge Tokyo Yagi Racing Honda S2000. These drivers out here going out on their warm-up laps, getting ready to set flyers. This was probably the most contested group earlier today. When this group was out, everyone was dropping lap times. Ray was in the lead. Fiona was in the lead. Ray was in the lead. Fiona was in the lead. Someone else jumped in. Ray ended on top. So these guys are dropping time left and right. There's Mr. Parlett in his Apex Garage BC Racing G35. And followed by Nick Steniford in his Tarmac Apparel Honda S2000. It looks like WRD Racing, Corey Wells and Will Dries have really figured out that prelude. I haven't seen them run into a single issue today, so that's always a positive. The more time you can have on track, the more chance you have of actually setting a faster lap. Here we go, guys. We have Sally McNulty in the Cobb Tuning IAG Performance VA WRX STI. Now, last session I did make the mistake. Marcos was actually driving that vehicle, not Sally. So now I believe we have Sally back in the car. Mr. Ray Williams getting in front, Sally getting out of the way for that. We're here to see if Ray can lay something faster than a 2:29 down like he did last session. To make it clear, their first lap, first session of this event, when everything was running well, was a 2:46. So Mr. Williams has dropped those times significantly. It looks like Sally is letting some people by. She wants to make sure she can get a clean hot lap. She made sure Ray had an open lap, so my guess is she's going to set up to actually start her hot lap on the next one instead of wasting the tires on this one. There's Robbie in his pink Honda NSX. We don't lift racing. His times have also been dropping session by session. He felt he only had maybe 1 or 2 seconds left in the car, but with the weather today, he's already dropped 1.5, 2 seconds in that first session. So he's probably going to push pretty hard, see how much time he can get out of it. Even on the back straight in that naturally aspirated C series, it looks like he has some good movement going. Now he's running a taller, bigger wing setup than usual, but that car is actually running less drag with that GT250. There it is, guys. Will Drees, a 227.039. 227.039. That is faster than Ray's 229 of last session. Looks like they really have that car figured out. And he's going hot into the S's. He's picking up that line very well. Mr. Ulrich Zerka did a 236 right behind him, but he looks like he's pushing hard. Jesse Solinsky with that 231.785 in that beautiful black S2000. Just to keep you up to date, Ray Williams just did a 231, so he's about 4 seconds off Mr. Will Drees. Jesse Solinsky in this S2000 seems to be very planted through the S's. Oh, it looks like we do have a safety car on track, guys. We have a safety vehicle on track. I see a yellow and black. Woo! Yeah, he was getting it. Listen, guys, it's not just the race cars getting it around here. That guy might get a talking to. I think he deserves a raise for the style points, to be honest with you, because he got way sideways and brought it back. Sir, the drifting paddock is on the other side. There it is. We have a black-yellow flag. Looks like we may have something going on the track. I'm not sure if he got a little sideways on one because there was fluid. Oh, look at him getting it. He is getting it. You know, I'm a little jealous of these safety vehicles. They have the ability to cut parts of the track that the drivers don't. We are still unsure of what's going on. We're going to go ahead and follow the safety vehicle. My guess is that they put some drivers in these vehicles that have some race experience, because he definitely hauled the mail around this track. All right, guys, it looks like we did find the incident here. We have what looks like a silver Subaru off on the side. I'm not sure if he made contact or not. It is near impossible right now to tell, but he may have just gone off, blown a motor. We do have from race control, my friends, that he had to pull over to the side. They're just making sure he didn't leak any fluids. They rushed the safety car out like that to make sure as quickly as possible that we can get this track green again. Now, it doesn't look like there's anything serious going on. Maybe he hurt his engine. Maybe he had a fuel issue. but he was smart. He told the safety crew himself, he said he heard and felt something. He wanted to make sure he didn't lay any fluids down on the track. We do appreciate that heads-up driving. So here's the times going on right now. Obviously, these guys are only to get one real hot lap going in. So as it stands right now, Mr. Will Drees did a 2:27.039. Ulrich Zerko with a 2:36.544. We have Mr. Jason Owens at a 2:31.332. Tony D at a 2:32.956. Mr. Mike Kang at a 2:33.886. Ray Williams at a 2:31.608. Jesse Selinsky at a 2:31.785. Ravi at a 2:37.798. Mr. Jackie Ding at a 2:45.226. Mr. Ryan Dusex at a 2:50.656. Drew Turner at 2:54.903. Sally never had the chance to get a hot lap. She was letting people by to set up her second one, so she never had it. So she crossed start finish at 3:35, slowing down for the safety car. Kevin Parlett in the BC Racing car, 2:41.184. Nick Stennifer with a 2:45. And Mr. Earl Zimmerman with a 5:22 because he came into the pits before his hot lap finish. Now, for all you guys out there, I want to make sure you know we have something special coming up for you at lunch. So as soon as Group 1 Session 2 ends, do not tune out, okay? Group 1 Session 2, stay put. Glue to your screen. You do not want to miss what we have coming for you guys. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you miss it and you hear about it from your friends, you're going to feel stupid. We have something that's going to go viral. Here we have the Project Import number 420 red J-Tune performance vehicle. I'm not sure if they have an issue or if they just brought it in to double check some things because he got a red flag out there. Not a red flag, I apologize, black and yellow. You'll notice on this car, it does have some CCW LM5s on it. Now, this car used to be black with green wheels, but they have refreshed it for you guys. They wrapped it red, kept the black front, back, and top, and they actually had those CCWs chromed. Now, the face of the wheel has been chromed, the lip is still polished, but I gotta say, that's a pretty badass look. Now, you see very often bright colored wheels on time trial cars, time attack cars, I apologize, but these guys wanted to take a different effect. I believe that the chrome with the yellow calipers and the red car definitely pops. Not to mention they get the JDM points with the Voltex wang. We want to make Mr. Thomas Lee famous, all right? Give us a wave, Thomas Lee. Oh, why you scared? Follow him, follow him. You can't get away from us. You wanted to be famous on stream. We're going to make sure you're famous on stream, okay? That is Thomas's girlfriend, and Maria. So Maria is actually the name of his car. That's Mr. Ken Swen right there. Yeah, Thomas, you can't get away from us, bro. There you go. Oh, man, we like to have fun here at Time Attack events, guys. We have this Subaru being towed off the track as we speak, so hopefully we can get this session live again. But I do want to make it clear to you, you do not go away after Group 1, Session 1. I know you guys are waiting to see the fast cars fly, but you do not go away after Group 1, Session 1. We're going to cut to something very special for you guys. I want you guys to be part of something bigger than yourselves. I feel like this tow truck isn't going to get sideways with the car on the back. Welcome to Duval, Texas, my friends, just outside of Austin, Circuit of the America. As you can tell, they take it international here. We get a lot of international races, GT3 races, IMSA races, Formula One races, and we're blessed to have all that going on here. We're glad to be part of the history of this track, and we hope to stay part of the history of this track. Here is the infamous tower at Circuits of the America. Now, if you guys were wondering how tall that tower is, that is 20 stories of raw fury. Now, I'd like you to thank our camera crew because the elevator was not working yesterday, so our cameraman up there literally went 20 stories up the stairs in 40-something degree weather, which you think wouldn't be bad because it's not hot until you start sweating and you freeze your buns off. Just so you know, guys, we're going to extend this session 5 minutes for these guys. They lost about 5 minutes with that safety vehicle, black and yellow. So what we're going to do is Group 1, Session 1 is still getting their full run group. We're just not going to take the 5-minute break. So Group 1, Session 1 will still get their full run time, but usually we have a 5-minute break between sessions. We're going to extend this one that 5 minutes. So as soon as the last track is as soon as the last car is off track, we're going to make sure and we're going to send Group 1 immediately. So tune in, Group 2, Session 2. We're going to follow it up immediately with Group 1, Session 2. And right after that, we got something special for you guys. So do me a favor and stay tuned. Here we have Mr. Ryan Dusek starting his hot lap. Jason Owens about to start his hot lap. These guys have come back into the pits. They've cooled down a little bit. To some people, that kind of throws them off their groove. To other people, it gives them a chance to recoup and go out and set a hot lap. So we'll see whose head is in the game and who can set out some faster times. There's Mr. Will Dries, who's owning this session right now with a 2:27.039. followed by Mr. Mike Kang in that BMW M3. Ulrich Zerka starting his hot lap. There we have Mr. Selinsky in his beautiful black Honda S2000. As you can tell, we have quite a few S2000s here today, and some of them are very extreme, other ones are very smooth and clean. You can definitely see the difference between the most extreme builds to the middle class builds to the guys who are out here with their relatively stock bodied cars, and all of them are pushing them to the limit. There's Mr. Ulrich Zerka pushing himself to the limit. He's gone through quite a weekend. He blew an oil pump, blew an oil cooler, had to fix his fender. He's still out there every session, though, pushing the car to the max. For an 18-year-old kid, he has no fear, and he has no problem getting his hands dirty to get back on track. Looks like Ryan ran a 2:38.864. That's his fastest time of this session. Little rear lockup. Woo! Will Drees laid down a 2:26.151. Pulled an entire second out of his last run. On that first lap before the yellow and black, he did a 2:27.3. Now he's doing a 2:26.151. Looks like they really got that car figured out. He's going to be coming back for another one. Mike Kang with a 302.276. With Mr. Ulrich Zerka with a 2:27.825. He's right on the tail of Mr. Will Drees. That's a little 400-plus horsepower Mazda Miata. Anyone who doesn't know about that car, go to Hoonigan Build Biology with him and Mr. John Naderi. They'll break that car down for you. That's the kind of car that I'll tell you anyone here can build. It's all takeoff parts. It has only 2 new parts on the entire vehicle, and that's going to be the ECU and I believe the race pack. No, I believe even the race pack came off of another vehicle. So they spent a lot of time and effort building that car. It's probably something that any of you guys could build in your garage with a little bit of help of your friends, and I'm not going to lie to you, that's definitely the way to go if you don't have a big budget. Oh no, Mr. Will Drees off on the side. He had just finished a hot lap too. He did a 2:26, and I'm not sure if he's having an issue with the vehicle. Maybe it ran out of gas, but we'll see what's going on. Hopefully we hear something from his team so we have something to tell you. These guys are all on their final laps, guys. Cool down laps. This session has been checkered. We're going to go ahead and throw up the times for you right now. So the fastest in this session, as you can tell, would be Mr. Will Drees, 2:26.151. We have a 2:33.459 out of Mr. Mine King. We have Tony D with a 2:31. Ulrich Zerko with a 2:27 right behind Mr. Will Drees. Jesse Selinsky with a 2:31.785 in his black Honda S2000. Ravi with a 2:34.075. Jason Owens down to a 2:31.322. Ryan Dusex with a 2:36.438. Mr. Drew Turner with a 2:36.480. We have Nick Steniford at 2:37.502. Mr. Ray Williams just at a 2:31.608, his original lap. He had to come into the pits on his second lap and the lap after the black and yellow. We have Jackie Ding with a 2:45.226. Sally McNulty never got back out. Kevin Parlett with a 2:41.184. And Earl Zimmerman with a 5:22, once again, never got back out. So it looks like we're going to go check out what's going on, Mr. Will Drees. Hopefully we can get him off track quick to get Group 1, Session 1 going. All right, guys, they are pulling Mr. Drees off track. We don't need a flatbed because he's not leaking any fluids. And luckily for us, the track officials can take shortcuts. So as soon as he's clear, we're going to go ahead and send Group 1, Session 2. Group 1, Session 2. Here we have our WWLC models. They've been around the pits talking with people. This is one thing that we love about it, the WWLC network. These are people that come to every event, make sure that not only the cars and drivers get coverage, but that the event gets coverage on multiple aspects. So that's Mr. Thomas Lee's car right there, getting some nice model love. We'd like to thank WWLC. If you want to look them up, feel free. They come to every Time Attack event they can, do as much coverage as possible. The Umbrella Girl thing, though it may be a point of controversy for some people, everyone we talk to, every racer, everyone that actually does it as a job, it's a job for them, and this is fun for them. They come out of their own accord, and we're glad they made it out here. Here we have it, guys. Group 1, Session 2 is hot. Group 1, Session 2 is hot. It looks like Mr. Cole Powelson is not coming out in this session, but you know who is leading this session? Mr. James Hooten in his Levine Motorsports K-tuned Acura Integra Type R. This is his chance to set a faster time than Cole and force Cole to come back out. Got Phil Grabo coming through the S's. This right here is a beautiful shot of how wide the angle is on this corner. This right here is the corner going onto the back straight. Like we said, the front straight is very long, but you don't carry enough speed onto the front straight to hit top speeds like that, not to mention the ending is an uphill climb. Here on the back straight, you actually enter at a high rate of speed. I believe I was talking with Mr. James. He said he was hitting the speeds on the low boost map of 165-ish, on the high boost map of 172 to 173. So these guys do carry and pick up quite amount of speed. So figure going from 170 down to 40 for the next corner. That's some serious G-load on braking. We're just waiting for Mr. James Hooten to start his hot lap, and here he is. Jensen Little right behind him, the little Miata that could. All right, and they are hot. They are hot. Waiting for the sparks to fly. Boom. Looking really clean through turn 1. We're going to see him come down to turn 2. He's going to take it wide and then carry as much speed as he possibly can through 2 before he goes to the S's. Boom, the overhead shot of the S's. Now you'll see James carries quite a bit of speed through here. There is so much travel in these cars you can't tell. From the top you can't tell how far left to right they go. He's going to hug this corner tight on the inside. The time to beat is a 2:07, my friends. The time to beat is a 2:07. Now, Mr. Hooten's done a 2:12.185, so all he's going to have to do is pick up 4 seconds. Now, yes, that sounds like boatloads, but his 2:12 lap had plenty of room for improvement. They've been working their butts off on this car. I saw him cutting a few things off, fixing a few settings, so James is very confident that he can do something fast with this. There he is making the left after the back straight. He's going to cut into the triple apex corner coming up soon. This is the very technical session of the track, so James is going very fast through the flowy corners, and when I was talking to him, he says he was picking up plenty of time over here. So we will definitely see what he has in the tank for this. Oh my goodness, this car is flying. Here we go. What do you got, James? 2:14.019. He was 2 seconds off his fastest time, guys. 2:14.019. What's Mr. Jensen Little have? A 2:22.147. So he was also off his fastest. I don't know if the track is slowing down or if these guys are just pushing to get out there. So I see Mr. Jensen Little out there pushing himself. It looks like Farah in his C606 just did a 2:21, though. He is pulling on Jensen Little. Jensen's done a 2:16 this weekend so far, so I know Jensen has the ability to pull away. Maybe he just needs a little bit more time in the car. Jason Dent did a 2:24.518. That's Scott Dolehite in that Camaro Z01. No, sorry, Camaro SS1LE. Mike McGinnis a 2:22.960 in his R35 GTR with J.C. Monet right behind them at a 2:34.525. every single person in this session has done a faster lap. So we'll try to see what's going on out there. Phil getting a little wiggly there near the straights. That car makes some significant power, so I'm sure it's quite a handful. Looks like Jensen Little led off. I'm not sure if he's having an issue. He is pulling off. Jensen Little is pulling off to the side, guys. Jensen Little is pulled off track. Have it, guys. Mr. Jensen Little did pull off track. I thought I saw him getting offline, and when I saw him getting the red, I know he's a super experienced driver. So my guess is he's either afraid that he's dripping fluids, or he feels like the car cannot go anymore, and he doesn't want to be stuck online for these guys. Now, here's the biggest thing. We always talk about cautions and making sure you're safe. He is a smart enough driver to know not to get near the corner. He pulled off on the straightaway in the red, so these guys are still going to be able to set hot laps with him sitting there. Jensen had some issues on his hot lap because he was 6 seconds off the pace of his fastest lap. Now, JC Monet, same thing. He is seconds off of his fastest lap. 2:21 to 3:69 for Ferris in his C6 Z06. The one thing that's beautiful about Corvettes is they always look so planted. That is a wide-body version of the C6, so it's even a nicer car to drive. It's got a wider berth. It has a lot more traction because naturally it can hold wider tires. That car is off the Car Optics team. It is a C6 Z06. He usually races in the Optima Search for the Ultimate Street Car, and if any of you guys follow that, you'll know the rule set is significantly different than here. Now, that will show you what drivers do to make it to Super Lap Battle USA. The Optima Ultimate Search for a Street Car does not allow GT wings. It does not allow a lot of things. So the biggest thing about it is they want a car that gets driven event to event every time. They don't want anything trailered. They don't want anything on slicks. So these guys are out here changing the setups of their cars, making sure that they can compete at the highest level here. And that's just an interlude into make sure you know that you have the ability to race at Super Lap Battle USA. All these drivers have an SCCA Pro Racing Time Trial license. This is not a Pro Racing wheel-to-wheel license. This is a Pro Racing Time Trial license because this event is sanctioned by SCCA Pro Racing. Now, how do you get one of these? It's very simple. Experience takes you a long way. If you have experience in time trials in another organization or you have been doing this for a long time, you can reach out to SCCA, go join a club, show them your experience, prove it on track a few times, and they will get you an SCCA Pro license. Now, for the people that have no idea their experience level, they feel they haven't pushed themselves there yet, it's very simple, guys. Join your local SCCA chapter, get into time trials. You'll start at the lowest level and move your way up. Once you're to the higher levels of SCCA time trial driving, you can apply for your SCCA Time Trial Pro license, and that'll give you the ability to register here at Super Lap Battle USA. Looks like we have the safety vehicle off to the side of Mr. Jensen Little. You may ask why he pulled up to the side and not behind him. There's a lot of protocols when it comes to safety vehicles. They want to make sure the driver of not only the vehicle but the car is protected. So if for whatever reason something happens and a car crashes into that truck, it's not going to push the truck directly into either of them. It's called the block technique. They want to make sure everyone there is safe. Almost looks like to me like they're going to hook up Mr. Little and tow him back. Car may have run out of fuel. Car may have had an issue. It's not to the point where he's leaking fluid, so they do not have to bring the flatbed. All right, guys. Well, Mr. Jensen Little is being towed off track, and as you guys have noticed, I have a affection for this vehicle. We're going to go ahead and go over what's happening in this session. So the fastest of the session is James Hooton, but he is 2 seconds off his fastest time. He did a 2:14.019, which in itself is flying. That is still one of the top 4 times of the weekend. Beyond that, we have Ferris at a 2:21.369 in his C6 Z06. Mike McGinnis at a 2:22.960 in his GTR 35. We have Jason Denton, Scott Dolehite at a 2:22.594 in their Camaro SS 1LE. They've been shooting for 19s here. Yesterday, they did a 2:21 in the cold. We have JC Monet at a 2:34, which is far off his fastest time. Alex Lee at a 2:26, Billy Brooks at a 2:30, Cody Miles at a 2:26.223, Phil Grabo at a 2:19.006. He's broken the 19 barrier. It's a great job. And then Jensen Little, of course, at a 2:22.147, which is 6 seconds off his fastest time so far. My goodness, guys, this is the session. You see JC Monet over there about to get towed off. He went a little too fast for himself. Hopefully he didn't turn into that 750 map and go boom. All right, guys, it looks like we are going to pull in JC Monet. Jensen Little has been pulled in. I would like to remind you guys not to leave the stream just yet. We're going to go ahead and take a nice, beautiful view here of Circuits of the America. The safety vehicle is going back out. There is a good chance he's going to double check, make sure everything is good there. When you have vehicles go off, you got to check fluids. It looks like the safety vehicle is getting back to his post. In case you didn't know, safety vehicles are posted up in multiple locations. That way we know what is going on. So let's say something happens on turn 11. Well, you don't have to wait for a safety vehicle to come from the pit lane. Something happens on turn 20. You don't have to wait for a vehicle to come from 11. We make sure that what we have going on here is everything that will get these cars on and off track as quickly and as safely as possible. All right, guys. So I think the most important thing that a lot of people don't understand about this form of motorsports is this is a family-based motorsports, okay, guy? If you ever come to one of these events, be it Super Lap Battle USA, Global Time Attack, Grid Life Time Attack, you're going to notice that people are great friends. Everyone is helping everyone, and if it's your first time there, you might be a little intimidated, but you go out of your way to talk to someone and you realize, wow, these are everyday people. I've been on a lot of paddocks in professional racing. I've been a lot of places in professional racing. And the biggest thing I can tell you is this is 100% family-based. I just need you to do me a favor right now and watch what you're going to see happening. Remember, this is a huge family thing, and I hope you all enjoy this as much as we do. Do me a favor right now and watch what you're going to see happening. Right, guys, in case you're wondering, she said yes. Here we have Bailey Ipoc right here proposing to his girlfriend. I'm I'm telling you guys, this is big for us, man. Our family grows by the day, and having the opportunity to give Bailey a chance to propose to his wife here at COTA Super Lab Battle USA, that was something special for us. So I wanted to make sure you guys were all a part of this. I wanted to make sure you guys saw everything going down. I'm sure she's a little embarrassed, but all in all, she's going to remember this for the rest of her life. Welcome to your new family, Bailey. Welcome to your new family.
And I was like, should I get the